The film begins with Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, newly elected President of the United States, addressing a crowd to promising that they will fight unprecedented threats together. According to news reports, Ross is prone to rage, is blamed for the Hulk and Abomination's catastrophic conflict in Harlem, and is estranged from his daughter Betty. 5 months later, Sam Wilson, Captain America, is working with Joaquin Torres Falcon in Oaxaca, Mexico, under Ross's orders to pursue a group of mercenaries known as the Serpent Society, led by Sidewinder. Cap hunts them down to a church where he utilizes his wings and shield to fight. He dispatches the mercs and makes his way to Sidewinder, who is attempting to kidnap prisoners. After rescue them, Cap is held back by a larger goon as Sidewinder flees. Meanwhile, Joaquin dons his Falcon outfit to track down more mercenaries and intercept a shipment that the Serpents were about to sell to an unknown buyer. Cap defeats the last goon as Joaquin receives the package. After reporting to Ross that the mission was successful, Sam and Joaquin return to Baltimore to train with Isaiah Bradley. Sam later receives a call from Ross inviting him to an event at the White House with Joaquin and Isaiah. The latter raises concerns about Sam working for a government that has wronged both of them in the past, but Sam assures him that things are changing for the better. The trio arrived at the event. Sam is summoned to meet with Ross secretly to discuss restoring the Avengers as their new commander. Sam is hesitant, especially given Ross's handling of the Sokovia Accords, but Ross believes the two of them can work together to change the situation. Ross addresses the guests about mining on Celestial Island, the small portion of Tiamut that emerged from the Indian Ocean in Eternals, where adamantium has been discovered, which was also the package that Sam and Joaquin recovered. And Ross is in the process of negotiating a treaty to ensure trade and distribution among other nations. Moments later, the song Mr. Blue begins to play. Isaiah and 4 other men are suddenly mind-controlled into attempting to assassinate Ross. Ruth Bat-Seraph, Ross's security advisor and former Black Widow, kills the remaining shooters while Sam attempts to stop Isaiah. Sam chases him all the way to a park where Isaiah appears to return to normal. Despite his fear of being imprisoned again, Sam persuades him to surrender. Sam goes to confront Ross in his bunker, leaving only themselves and Ruth in the room. While they assume Isaiah collaborated with the other men in a planned attack, Sam recognizes that he was being controlled and wishes to clear his reputation. Ross believes Sam is too close to the case to be involved and reminds him that he is not Steve Rogers. Sam later visits Isaiah in his cell to attempt to figure out what happened, but Isaiah urges him not to come back since he believes it is a lost cause and he will die in prison. Sam enlists Joaquin's help to figure out what happened. Joaquin checks CCTV cameras and notices that Isaiah and the other men had something blinking on all of their phones before to the incident. Sam is attacked by Sidewinder, who has been hired to kill him. He attempts to blow up Sam's car, but he escapes in time and battles the villain. Sidewinder attempts to shoot and stab him, but Sam gains the upper hand and knocks him out, leaving him to face arrest. Sam speaks to Sidewinder's boss, who congratulates him on his success, but promises he won't like what happens next. Ross speaks with other world leaders who were caught in the crossfire of the attack. They have begun to lose faith in Ross's qualities as a leader, which undermines the deal. Sam gives Joaquin Sidewinder's phone so he can trace the source of the employer's call. They are guided to an off-grid site called Camp Echo 1 in Virginia. Ruth observes a brainwashed jail guard kill all of the imprisoned shooters save Isaiah, who shoots himself in the head when Mr. Blue plays. Meanwhile, the unidentified villain calls Ross and warns him of a coming power shift. Sam and Joaquin arrive at Camp Echo 1 and utilize Sam's small drone Red Wing to sneak into the facility. They come across a lab with genetic information on several people, including Isaiah and the other attackers. They soon encounter the mastermind, Samuel Stearns, the leader. He intends to exact revenge on Ross, and when Sam attempts to fight back, Stearns uses a machine to temporarily keep him down before leaving him and Joaquin to cope with hired mercenaries. The two eliminate the first gang of men before being confronted by another. Ruth arrives and defeats the group before joining Sam and Joaquin. As they leave, officers arrive to capture them, but Mr. Blue plays again, and they attempt to kill Sam and Joaquin. Sam tosses his shield to knock them unconscious before they and Ruth take the officer's van and flee. Ross talks with Japanese Prime Minister Ozaki, who expresses dissatisfaction with Ross's work as president. As Ross meets with other leaders, pressure mounts, and his Secret Service agent, Layla Taylor, tries to keep him calm. Sam meets with his military contact, Dennis Dunphy, to analyze some pills he discovered in Stearns' lab. Sam then goes to see Sidewinder and has him released temporarily, so he may talk about what he knows about Stearns. Stearns' mind enlarged after being exposed to Bruce Banner's blood, but he was utilized as a personal think tank by Ross, who increased the gamma dosage, causing the mutation in his head. The employment of the Serpents was an attempt to undermine the treaty and spark a possible war, ruining Ross's legacy. Before leaving, Sidewinder assures Sam that he will eventually escape. Dunphy informs Sam, Joaquin, and Ruth that Ross and Ozaki have sent battleships to claim Celestial Island. Sam finds Ross and confronts him about his participation with the Stearns. After a furious debate, Ross discloses that he was dying of heart failure, and he convinced Stearns to create pills containing gamma radiation, which slipped into his system. Ross refused to let Stearns go for fear that he would stop producing the pills. Stearns kills an admiral and gains access to Mr. Blue, while two American F-18 pilots pursue the Japanese Navy. Cap and Falcon rush into action, with Joaquin ejecting one pilot and Sam extracting another, but Joaquin is caught in an explosion and falls into the ocean. Ross's tension and wrath continue to overwhelm him as he attempts to gain control of the situation. Stearns contacts him, knowing what is going on and expecting Ross to lose his cool. Ruth sends a medical team to retrieve him, but the Japanese pilots return to Ozaki to inform him that Captain America saved them. Sam observes Joaquin in the hospital. He is astonished by a visit from Bucky, who gives him a pep talk when Sam questions himself and is rumored to be running for Congress. Stearns later discovers Dunphy after learning about the gamma pills, and he uses a gadget to stop Dunphy's heart and murder him. Ross speaks briefly with Betty before addressing reporters at a press conference. At the same time, Stearns discovers Sam and waits to be arrested, but not before disclosing the final piece of his revenge plan, which is to expose Ross as the monster that he is. Ross becomes increasingly concerned and irritated by the reporter's questioning, so Taylor and the other SS agents attempt to take him back into the White House. The gamma in Ross's body begins to activate, and his anger takes over, transforming him into Red Hulk. The agents attempt to shoot at him, but to no avail. Cap flies in to stop Red Hulk, leading to a battle that destroys much of the White House. Red Hulk also destroys two helicopters that attempt to shoot at him. Although Cap is able to hit a few hits on Red Hulk, he shreds Cap's wings and damages his armor. Sam brings him to the cherry blossoms, where Ross used to go with Betty, to try to bring back his memories. He utilizes his shield to absorb the impact of Red Hulk's attack, resulting in a massive wave that knocks them both back. Before Red Hulk can attack again, Sam calms him down by reminding him of Betty. This forces Ross to return to normal, and he surrenders as the authorities arrive. Isaiah is exonerated and freed from prison, reuniting with Sam. The White House is being reconstructed. Sam pays a visit to Ross, who is imprisoned at the raft, and Betty pays him a visit. Sam then goes to see Joaquin in the hospital, where he acknowledges to Sam that he inspired him to be a hero.